Tattle Tells and Tattle Tells because representation matters. Yo, guess what? Wendy Williams has vowed to return to daytime talk show in 3 months. There's also reports that she's vowed never to drink again. Now, you couple that with Kevin, her ex-husband, suing Deborah Mercury, and what y'all got? It looked like the ultimate con, the ultimate hustle. But guess what? If they play their cards right, it looked like it might be the ultimate come up. And for all y'all out there saying, oh my God, what you gonna do without a staff? Wendy don't need no staff. She is the whole shebang. She's the whole show. And guess what? She's ready to get this show on the road earlier than we think. That's right, y'all. Because Wendy said, unlike y'all brokies that gotta work with your backstabbing coworkers, I own everything and I don't have to deal with anybody I don't like. You hear me? Y'all, what am I talking about? Let's get into this mess. But first, you know the deal. Hit that like, subscribe. It's YouTube, baby. You know how this stuff works. Come on. Now listen, let me just first say this, right? Because I got a long memory. And I remember about 5 months ago where half these bloggers, and I put myself in the thing of bloggers, but I wasn't saying this, were saying that Wendy was in a wheelchair with this dementia, late stage dementia, and had lost her mind and was furthering that narrative against all things. All right, fine. So now we're on a new thing, right? Now Wendy is a drinking problem. We've all known Wendy has struggled with drugs, with alcohol. She has a problem with that stuff. She has now said, and this is on anonymous sources, right? It's been reported from the Jasmine brand saying the source, their exclusive, credits Wendy's alleged improvements on the support of her family and several lifestyle changes, including taking a break from alcohol. They go on to quote Wendy saying, Wendy has vowed not to drink and she's eating much healthier these days and it shows. Her legs aren't nearly as swollen. Okay, so what do we know from that? Wendy is still suffering from Graves' disease. Wendy is still suffering from her addictions. She has gotten better to the point that she thinks that she can make a comeback. When's that comeback gonna be? Think about it. She said she's making a comeback in 3 months. What's in 3 months? Deborah Mercury has already canceled the Wendy Williams show. I believe they say that it is over in June. Wendy says she's coming back in June. Clearly, any thinking person can put 2 and 2 together. She's not coming back on the Wendy Williams show as it pertains to being with Deborah Mercury. However, everybody's forgetting one important thing. Wendy owns her name. Wendy owns her show. The reason why Sherri Shepherd's show isn't the Wendy Williams show with Sherri is because Wendy owns the rights to her name, her show, all that stuff. Now, this was a very astute move. And listen, honestly, a lot of people give Kevin a lot of flack, her ex-husband, including me, because I don't like him, ne'er-do-well ex-husband. However, business-wise, they structured everything very, very wisely. This is why the network is still so mad. And this is why sources have been saying the network are going out of their way to disparage Wendy, her health, and her show for 2 reasons. One, if they can't have that show, nobody can. They tried to spread all these rumors about why Wendy didn't want to come back, but a lot of people said Wendy doesn't want to come back for a number of reasons. But the easiest one can be, you've been doing it for 60 years. She's a trailblazer to us, but to her, it's a regular Tuesday afternoon. She is tired. What's more, she had her heart broken. She's dealing with depression. We know every time she goes into a depressive state, she ends up going to rehab, which is why I always said, y'all, she is in rehab for alcohol, maybe illicit substances. We don't know exactly what, but she's definitely in rehab. And again, Wendy used to brag about partying all night and then getting up and going to work the next morning. Simple when you're in your 20s, but when you are 57 dealing with 2 chronic diseases, I imagine it takes a toll on her. But in the meantime, Deborah Mercury was thinking that they could still use her name, take her audience, thinking they were loyal to the name of the Wendy Williams show, and then put in guest hosts. If a guest host was popular enough, they were going to give them their own show. Sherri Shepherd had the most ratings. They even said that at a certain point, Sherri Shepherd had more ratings than Wendy Williams. However, the network soon found out it was a waste of time because people were just coming in for the shock value. As soon as they saw Sherri Shepherd, ratings dropped down to a normal level, which isn't to say they weren't good. But if you look at the Nick Cannon, who also debuted with huge numbers, riding off on Wendy's coattails, right? He even said my show's canceled because Wendy's not doing the opening slot anymore. Let's see if Sherri's show is on for the year. But let's get back into this 3-month timeline. Wendy did say in her exclusive interview with Good Morning America, literally, give me about 3 months. There are private things that I have to deal with, and then I'll be ready to come back and be free and ready to do my thing. She said, and then she goes on to talk about Wells Fargo. We'll get to that in a second. But you guys, I'm telling you, Wendy is planning a comeback. Now, here's the thing. There's been rumors that she has an open invitation to give her first in-face tell-all interview on The View, and they would love to have her as some type of guest co-host. And if it works out, be brought on. I, along with a bunch of people, said that don't make any sense. Wendy is bigger than The View. She is Wendy don't need The View for clouds. Wendy could go on Instagram Live and break Instagram. However, the one thing that everybody has been looking for is the Spotify deal or a podcast. Wendy started off in radio. It doesn't require you to be presentable on camera. Hell, listen, I'm doing an Abby in my pajamas, right? It doesn't require you to be presentable. It doesn't matter how big or little your legs get. It doesn't matter how much you've been crying. It doesn't matter how bloated your face is. It doesn't matter. All they care about is your voice. Wendy, and here's the thing, there's an art to podcasting. Wendy knows that art. It's looking more and more likely that this comeback that they're talking about Wendy doing is going to be either her doing something independently, either on YouTube, Spotify, podcasts, whatnot, or she comes back to a network. It definitely won't be Debmar Mercury because Kevin is still suing them. Last thing, there has been talk about, oh my God, well, what's she gonna do without a staff? Listen, Wendy fired everybody because she can't trust them. Wendy didn't like her old staff, and if you remember, all of the complaints and the leaks and the disparaging comments that came in through TMZ radar and all these people all came to staff. People that are supposed to be her spokesperson, people that are supposed to be her PR, people that were supposed to be senior level producers. I understand the fact that Wendy cleaned house. Y'all are all snakes and you're not biting me anymore. I am the table, I bring the food, and none of y'all are eating off of me. Can you really blame Wendy Williams for feeling like that? I mean, y'all honestly think about it. Every single time Wendy even showed up on live, looked good, was talking, there were all these rumors about, oh, Wendy says she's sick, but yet she has time to stroll on the beach. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't realize by saying I was not well enough to come in for my own mental health that meant that I could not leave my residence. Do you feel me? Again, I see why Wendy has cleared house. I see why Wendy is getting new staff. And the thing is, Kevin hired half of the staff. Kevin can actually hire more staff again, because if you guys didn't know, Kevin and Wendy are doing the power couple thing once again. Now, we don't know if they're back together, but you definitely see Kevin's hand guiding and cracking the whip and driving all the snakes outside the kingdom. By the way, make sure you turn your notifications on, because it looks like Kevin is going to actually comment on this situation and a few misconceptions. Now, if he gets on and comments on the fact that he loved this girl and he's not back with Wendy, you know Shireen was probably throwing vegan grits in his face until he got away from Wendy. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe that Wendy has finally kicked her demons? Will you be down to watch a podcast or broadcast? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, my little Tattle Tells, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.